Hey, welcome to Sober City. My name is Seth, and I am an alcoholic. Thanks again for joining me on this episode. I am speaking to my wonderful friend, Brittany, who has just celebrated 1 year of sobriety and is just killing it. She's had a string of attempts at sobriety and has had quite the adventure, and she's one of the most authentic and honest people I know. She's just pretty genuine. And so, as you'll be able to tell in this episode, how she is really just an open book, and she recognizes that honesty is what keeps us sober. There is no guilt, shame, or remorse when describing her experience with alcohol. She also goes into what it looks like to be absolutely hopeless. Unfortunately, there is some talks in regards to suicide or attempted suicide, so trigger warning there, and there is some adult language that is used. But like I said, I'm a big proponent of what the message is as opposed to how we deliver it. So hopefully nothing will detract from Brittany's incredible testimony, and I hope that her sharing her story can be of value to you or to someone you might know. As usual, my contact information is in the show notes. If you or someone you know is struggling with alcoholism or addiction, I am available whenever, however, I can be of service. Just appreciate that opportunity. And as always, thank you for listening and sharing, and I appreciate all of your words of encouragement. You all are amazing. So with all that said, life is beautiful, sobriety is worth it. Thank God for today. This is Sober City. Welcome to Sober City.
Thank you. Thank you, Seth. I'm glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Glad you can make time to do this. Brittany, how long have you been sober?
So I have been sober since May 17th of 2024, so just over a year.
Just over a year recently.
Yeah.
Just about a week and a half ago. Happy birthday. Congratulations on the big 1 year.
Yeah.
And Brittany, what were you like before you got sober?
Oh, man. So I guess, talking about the real deal alcoholic, I guess as far back as I can remember being in my youth and stuff, I've always been attracted to drinking. So that started at a really young age, probably middle school, somewhere in there. It was all fine, and it progressed from there and throughout high school. When I was in my, I'd say like teens, I turned 18, got in some trouble, and I got sober. So that was my first experience probably about 20 years ago, and I'll call it in getting sober. And so I did that. And from there, I had periods of where I didn't drink, where I stayed sober. And I guess I've just always struggled with it. So I'll just fast forward a little bit. Like after I had these long-term periods of being sober, something just happened. Like I just stopped doing the things that were working for me. And I ended up drinking again, because that's kind of what we do. Real deal alcoholics, man, we drink. Like I drink no matter what. I guess if I look back on it, and I kind of thought I had it. Like I kind of thought that everything was fine. I was going to be sober for the rest of my life. I was raising these kids. I was married at the time, just like living life. And then it just hits me like this disease is so powerful. So I started drinking, and man, it just got bad real quick. I was in a marriage at the time that was just not healthy for me. And so I left, and there were periods of sobriety in there. And kind of what happened was like, I just went off the rails, just absolutely. I remember, so I had my kids a little bit here and there. And talking about kids, like I always thought for whatever reason, just because I had raised my kids mostly being sober, that they would always keep me sober. And like that's just not the case. That's not what this disease does. It doesn't matter. So I'm doing that, get out of this relationship, and that's when it just kind of took off. I got to the point where I was drinking just around the clock continually. I was still working. I was trying to manage just blowing up the lives around me. And thank God that my kids have a dad who is really amazing and who has been there and who has been sober and was just in their lives providing for them, really. And so I'm going back and forth with my kids and work, and everything's getting more difficult. And I started just isolating a lot, and just, I would go, man, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if I had a job, if it didn't matter. And then you add in all this stuff with back and forth and custody and kids and court. And here I am taking PBTs like all the time. And I would have them timed. Like I would take a PBT, I would blow, and then I would drink. And like that gets tiring, like just like that whole process of it. And meanwhile, my kids, like I said, thank God they had a dad. They do have a dad in their life who is amazing for them and supports them. And they had that out being away from a mom who was drunk, continually drinking all the time. I got to the point where I had a friend who was telling me, you need to go get help. You need to get help. And I just didn't care anymore. I got really, really suicidal. So when I left that relationship, I decided to go try to get some help for this, to try to get some help with my drinking and my mental and all this stuff, and just like get my life together. So I go start seeing this professional in the community. And really, I mean, kind of what happened from that was this person turned out to be just absolutely detrimental to me and hurt me and abuse me in every way possible. And I don't say that like as like, oh, like poor me, poor me. I mean, at the time, it really kept me sick. I say it because there are so many women who have experienced the same thing, who have stayed in the same cycle, who have been abused or mistreated or all these things. They've stayed in that cycle and they stay alone and they stay separated. And so all this is going on. I'm losing my kids. I'm losing jobs. I'm losing money. I'm losing homes. And I go and try to connect with these people in a recovery community where I was just like blacklisted, man. Like people were literally like people I had known for so long were just kind of like stepping aside from me. And then there was a handful of people. They were in my corner, and thank God that they were, because I think God works in ways. I don't think we choose our sobriety date. I think God opens the doors and we get to walk through. So I had these people in my life. I was going through all this just crazy, dramatic stuff. I mean, my story is full of just like drama, pain, ego. And the other part of it is also so tremendously full of grace and hope. I mean, like that's the other side of it. So I'm doing what I'm doing every day, drinking. I started to get a lot of health consequences from my drinking. And at this point, I was pretty much living alone. My kids would come and go, and I just couldn't do it. So I was starting to get really sick. My kidneys were pretty much shutting down. I was bleeding internally from the drinking. I looked like I was probably about 4 months pregnant, and it was just, I was dying, and I was totally resigned to that fact. Like I was totally cool with that. Like I did not, everything in my life was gone. It was totally, I had given it away. I guess that was kind of like my drinking up until, I guess I would say the last year. Since I got sober. I mean, there were some other events that happened. Like I said, I was getting really suicidal. I had this person in my life that was calling me, showing up at my house, taking me to the hospital, saying, your choices are. One friend, he gave me the choice. He said, you're going to detox, you're going to the hospital. I said, can we go to the liquor store? And like, that was like not an option. So that was what was going on. And then, so I don't know, I was cleaning houses. That's what I was doing for work. I was cleaning houses and I was working waiting tables at night. And I don't know what happened. One day I just decided, I said, okay, God, like I literally how I chose to go get some help, go to treatment again, because I had just been in treatment. I had gone to this detox in Minnesota. I went to a 30-day treatment. I went to just outside the cities. I was shuffling around on this crazy detox. I couldn't even see out the windows. They were cloudy. It was insane. And I left that treatment center Within the person that dropped me off, within minutes, they left my driveway and I turned around and I went right back out and drank again. So I get to this point, I'm at this house cleaning, doing whatever, and I'm thinking, I gotta do something. So I flipped a coin because, what else do you do when you gotta make a major life choice? You flip a coin. So, I made this deal with God because that's what I do. And I said heads. And it was a Canadian coin too, which I don't know. It just was. And heads, I'm not, tails, I'm going. And I flipped that coin 10 times and it was tails, tails, tails every single time. So then I start this whole process of I got to get into treatment somewhere. And in our community, there wasn't a whole lot of options for me at the time. So I'm reaching out to people in surrounding states. I already went to Minnesota, did that thing. So then I'm like, okay, I'll go to North Dakota. So I got people calling, people trying to help me. And there was nothing, nothing. I couldn't get in anywhere. And I won't forget this day. It was a couple days before I got sober. This woman in my life, a really close friend, I said to her, I can't get in anywhere. I don't know what to do. And I was probably looking for sympathy, or I was probably looking for, oh, poor Brittany's trying so hard, so dramatic, trying so hard. And she said to me, you might have to fight for this one. And I was offended. How rude, how rude to say that is what I thought. And thank God she said it, because I got up. So I got up out of my bed. I was probably laying in my bed, drinking, doing whatever. Got up, went out and sat at my kitchen table, and my kids were gone. At that point, I hadn't seen my kids for about 2 weeks because I couldn't control. I would just vomit and I was puking blood continually. It wouldn't stop. So I decided that was not okay for them to see. So I get up, go sit at my table, and my dogs are staring at me, just terrified, because some days they didn't get fed. Some days they just never knew. Nobody ever knew what they were walking into when it came to my drinking. They're staring at me. I'm sitting there and I see my dog's metal cable on the kitchen floor. I had tried to kill myself numerous times before that. Couple weeks before that, I put myself in the garage, closed the door, ran it out, passed out, and I woke up. And time before that, I had a friend calling the sheriff, and they came out, and this was just a continual drinking, suicidal, just over and over. And this time I thought, okay, that dog cable, I know it's strong enough. I'm going to go out, I'm going to hang myself. That's it. I am done. I've tried to get into treatment, tried so hard. And so then my phone rings, which I absolutely believe is God. I mean, God just opens the door for us and sends in his workers, man. That's what we do here. Sends in the people. And my phone rings, and it was a friend, and he said, look, you got to call this guy, Johnny. He's waiting for your call. You got a few minutes, call him. So I call this guy in North Dakota, and what does he do? He picks up the phone, which is crazy. Cause I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't come out of my house. I didn't do anything. I was not doing any of that. And so he's like, yeah, come up to North Dakota. We got a bed for you. And man, from there, it took me about a day and a half. My mom and my sister came and got me. My sister said, I don't know, she said something she's like, get in, this ain't no damn bridal suite, get in, sit down, shut up, we are going, and I was sitting in the back seat. I brought a banana because I thought I should have food, and then I had a bottle of vodka, and I sat back there in the back seat with this Gatorade vodka mix, and 38 years old, drove to North Dakota by my mom and my sister, who, God, thank God for them too, and my sister, to keep me alive in some of the times. I mean, she's a nurse, and I think that God shows us, a lot of things I've forgotten or I've blacked out. But there was one night in particular, she had come to my house, her and my brother-in-law, I think, and I was sitting up. I would prop myself up on the bed because I was trying not to tip over, because I didn't want to aspirate. I knew that much, that I would aspirate. I would choke on my own vomit and die. And so I'm doing my thing, propping myself up. She's out at my house at 2 a.m, and I heard her on my couch. I heard her out there, just I've never heard her cry like that. And man, I think those moments, thank God didn't take those moments from me, just to remember that was where I was at. And some days I thought it was okay. Some days I got 2 jobs, we're good. And this is the wreckage that I was doing to my family and my kids. So I mean, I guess that's a long,
No, it's
long story
perfect.
of,
Yeah, no, and
yeah,
that's it, right? And
yeah,
that's kind of why I like to ask that question because it's a huge question. What were you like before you got sober?
yeah,
And it's just the best way to just dig in because
yeah,
once you start talking about what you were like before you got sober, who knows where that
right.
rabbit hole is going to go. And man, that is quite the run through. And you said a few things that I appreciate. One is that God opens doors,
Yeah,
but we have to walk through them.
yeah, absolutely.
It's effort. God is not a shot of whiskey or oxy. And that's what's hard for us is we just got used to this immediate solution. That's what we liked about it. We
Mm-hmm.
knew that if we chugged this or took this pill or smoked this, whatever, it was immediate relief. And
Right,
that's what's hard for us with the God thing is that we can pray all we want. And because it's not immediate, right?
right.
But if you continually do it before you know it, you look back and you're noticing these times in your life
Yeah,
where you're
yeah,
like, wow, because I did take a little effort to do something,
yeah,
it worked. And that's all it is God will show up, but it
for
takes
sure.
action. And that is pretty prevalent in your story because you were doing certain things. But
Yeah,
then it boiled down to that phone call where she
yeah.
said, you might have to work at
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, she said a handful of things like that. Like the other thing that I think about, it's just like it is totally, totally God. She said to me one time, or I said to her, I said, well, sink or swim, I guess. And she was like, yeah, that's kind of the point, Brittany. And then I show up to this treatment place in North Dakota and on the wall there it says sink or swim. And I was just like, okay, okay. But yeah, yeah,
kind of like a road sign
yeah, for sure.
reassuring you that you're going the
Yeah,
right direction. I've seen it too, where things have just lined up where I'm like, wow, I think I'm where I'm supposed to be.
right.
Before
Yeah,
I was lost. I
yeah,
had no reassurances
yeah,
and was desperately trying to find something to hold on to that would give me
yeah,
just a little pat on the back, like you're going the right way, Seth. And after years of
yeah,
blindlessly looking for road signs, it's nice when you see them and reassuring for sure. And so you're arriving to this rehab. Is that May 17th, 2024 then when you
So I got there on the May 16th. So
sure.
I wasn't actually, I mean, I wasn't too bad because I remember them telling me on the phone, they said, if you show up too drunk, we are going to have to take you to the hospital. I was like, I ain't doing that again. Because at the hospital, they're just like, when I was there, they were like, they throw up the rails. And she said to me, hit that button if you feel like you're going to have a seizure. I know what's coming on. I just did not want to go back there. So I showed up relatively as sober as I could be. And that was like, I just had to maintain, my body was so absolutely sick that's what I had to do. So May 17th, I don't know. I don't remember a lot of really those first 30 days there. I just, I don't know. I remember waking up maybe a couple days later. And if you go to places like this, they'll detox you there and they'll give you some benzos and give you the stuff and kind of get you a little stable or whatever. And I think they had only given me about 3 days of those. And my body functioning at the time was so terrible that I was still testing positive for them at like 45 days sober, which is kind of wild. Like that. And like, you can't tell me that like there is not a reason. That's what I'm saying. Is like my story is full of all this drama and all of this chaos and pain and all this, but there is so much grace that has been given. Because like, why am I here? I mean, so many times by my own hand, or just literally by poisoning myself to death by drinking. Like that's where that grace is. Because I am here truly, I believe, for a reason today, and that's like how I try to continue to live my life. So yeah, May 17th 's the day.
Yeah, May 17th, 2024. And when you were drinking that vodka in the back of the car there with your mom and sister, they were aware that you were drinking, or were you?
I don't know. I think it was like one of those big ass white elephants in the
I'm
room.
sure,
Like
yeah.
nobody said anything. I think they were just trying to get me there.
That's right. Yeah.
You
Well, and
know?
that's the thing. Even if they did, the idea of saying, no, you can't
Yeah.
drink on the, and that's a misconception. I think I've heard somebody once say, like, he drank the whole time to rehab. And I was like, don't know of another way to get to
Yeah.
rehab.
Yeah.
I haven't been to rehab, thank God, but I don't know
Yeah.
anybody that's showed up to rehab sober.
Yeah. No, I was, I mean, I was okay when I went to the place before that. I had this lady that brought me there and I had drank all these shooters and then I was high and it was just, and I had to get on an airplane. And I said, do you think I should go in the bathroom and drink this other one? She said, no, I think you should hand it to me. And I did. And then I thought I wasn't going to make it because the TSA people are like, ma'am, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And I had gotten to that detox outside the cities. I was still blown like a 0.3. And this was hours. I had went through a whole flight and all of this stuff. And that's what my drinking looks like, you know? So
Yeah. Over 3 times the legal limit.
yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you
Walking,
were,
talking.
yeah, no, I know it's crazy. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And when you had that moment that ultimately led you to going to that rehab, like what was that outside of just defining it as the gift of desperation? You were kind of contemplating ending, just being done in general, but there was a part of you that you were like, all right, this is different. Was it because you tried sobriety before? Was there anything significant? Because you were just at your house, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's just literally, like I said, I think it's just the grace of God. I feel like we get to a point, I had given up in every single way possible and I was tired. I was so tired. And I don't know, there's just these moments that happen, man. They're moments that why we're all here today, truly just moments in time. And that one in particular, like nothing crazy happened. You know, my kids, like I said, they were already gone, like nothing. I didn't get a DUI that day. I think when we drink for so long, we just, like I said, we just get tired and it's such a day in, day out, day in, day out. And this whole process, and I was tired and I had surrendered. Like, I think that was a moment of surrender, whether I knew it or not. That was an absolute moment of surrender. And God's like, hey, hey, here it is. And, you know, and like I said, we get to walk through that door, man. And then from there, like, just to maintain that surrender, because like I'll get sober for a minute and I'm just, like, I'm okay. I forget like so quickly. I can forget so quickly, like what it looks like, that I can forget what my son looks like when he is kind of following me around, like giving me eyes, like looking at me like what. And when I went to, so I was in treatment and then I transferred to a sober living and stayed there for quite a while. I would come back to Rapid and I'd be able to see my kids on like supervised visits. And I remember maybe the second time my oldest daughter, her boyfriend, we went out to eat. I had my supervisor there and my oldest daughter's boyfriend was going to come. And so I'm like, cool. So I said, I have to go to the bathroom. And so I went to the bathroom and she's blowing up my phone. I was literally in there for like 2 minutes actually using the restroom, but that's not common. That's not what we do. I disappear in the bathroom they're beating on the door 40 minutes. Like that's what I do. That's what I do. And so like stuff like that, like, she was calling, she's like, Gage, he's almost here. He's almost here. And
yeah, just hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, it takes time. It takes time to repair that type of damage. Absolutely.
And really, I don't know if it's ever fully repaired.
No.
I don't know how long. You just accept that.
Right.
That's just what you're going to have to face.
Right.
The reality that there's going to be certain triggers like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom real quick.
Right.
And your daughter's thinking, great, she's going to come out drunk and my boyfriend's going to see her.
Yeah.
The shame. Oh, man, yeah. That's rough. And I get it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting how when you say that thinking about those things still isn't enough.
Right.
Like it's
right.
You talked about hearing your sister cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you remember it and you're grateful you can remember it, that you hadn't blacked out when you heard her cry like that. And
right.
still
Right.
not enough to keep you sober. And it's because it'd be nice if just remembering what it
Yeah.
was like was enough, but it's
Yeah.
not, because that remembering doesn't take effort.
Right.
You have to
Yeah, it
make
doesn't
an
have the
effort.
weight. It doesn't have those memories and those thoughts and all those things that come up that flash back into our minds of we did this, or our kids, or our jobs, or whatever. They don't have the weight. They don't have the power to shift us in a way to keep us sober. Like it doesn't work for me. And if it did, unfortunately, I mean, I don't know if it did, I would have maybe just stayed sober the first time, but it doesn't work like that. And today I know that. And today, that's why I like the things that I do. My recovery is my life. Like, you ask anybody, I had periods of, sobriety recovery before where, I just hid. I was just sober, and like nobody knew I was sober, and like I was just doing my thing, just like, being sober. And it doesn't work for a person like me. I recover out loud today, like absolutely. And part of that aspect of like that is that, yes, that keeps me sober. It keeps me accountable. Part of that are things that I am trying to like clear up the past, like fix those things. And my daughter doesn't have to even. Today, I spent a beautiful day with my kids, and they didn't have to think twice when I went to the bathroom. Nobody was looking for me. Nobody was, like repair those things, like live differently. When my sister calls, I answer the damn phone. When my mom calls, I answer the phone. When somebody else on recovery, that is the way that I live my life today. I answer the phone. I show up just like that person in the series of people. Because I think God, like I said, He steps in. There's a window. We have will. We have free will. We can align it with God, or we can just do whatever and just crash and burn. And that's what I did for a lot of years. And now I align that, and I show up just like all the other workers did in this whole thing. They showed up for me, and I show up. And it is absolutely, truly my life. The things that I do in my life today, jobs, work, whatever, man, it is literally just, I say it all the time, I experience employment. I like to put it that way because I do. I go to a job, I experience employment on a daily basis, but that is not my primary goal. That is not like what I'm there for, to work or whatever. I'm there to be a good employee, but I'm also there like as a person in recovery that is just wide open to this deal. And because for so long, especially like I said earlier, like when I started drinking, and I was kind of in this recovery, whatever, I had these people in my lives, and they kind of just like stepped back from me, like to be, I guess, in those, like it is really, really, really important for me today to live transparently, to live openly, and to be there for specifically other women. So much so, because sometimes we do kind of get like blacklisted, like, hey man, like, cause and I don't blame people, cause we are a pain in the ass, man. We cause wreckage. We rip through people's lives. That's what we do. So I don't necessarily blame people for that. I just know today that I will absolutely show up, and I do show up in a transparent way in my life. I got no secrets anymore. That's another thing that we don't stay sober with secrets. We don't stay sober with secrets. Like those two things do not go hand in hand. And I guess, by saying a lot of these things, it could be detrimental or it could be bad or whatever. It could be whatever it is. I don't, today I live in the way I live in truth. I live in my recovery and in a progressive way that's going forward in my sobriety. And again, like I said, I do all those things. I just live different today, man. Every aspect of my life is in some way trying to repair those things, and then also to call out, to walk down, not to shout out to someone and be like, hey, this is how we do it over here. Or, hey, you can get sober. Not that encourage. I mean, not that it's bad to be encouraging, but to get down in that freaking pit, to go down next to somebody that is literally at the gates of hell, dying, to get in there with them and walk with them and be like, hey man, here's the light this way, let's go. Like that is, oh man, that's the beauty of this thing. That is the beauty, the gift, and the grace of being sober. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
you said a lot of good stuff. One thing that sticks out to me is answering your phone.
Yeah.
I don't know why that stuck out to me, but mainly because that's what we do. We ignore phone calls.
Yeah.
Whether we're drunk or sober,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just ignore people and we isolate.
Right.
And it is true when I'm in a place where I get a phone call from someone and I say, I don't want to talk to them.
Right.
And I ignore it.
Right.
And then I forget to call them back or whatever. And I start to see myself slipping back into that mindset where it's all about Seth. And generally, and I'm referring to maybe somebody that's trying to get, so you know what I mean? But work too. And somebody that's helped me a lot told me that in the beginning, when I still just didn't want to talk to anybody, don't call me, which was crazy because at that point, nobody was calling me anyways.
Right.
So the few people that actually did call me, he just said, let it ring like twice and pray while, you know what I mean? Like, don't answer right away. When you get that call, just pray.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. And whenever I get a phone call, no matter what mood I'm in, I just, God, just whatever it is, give me the strength, give me the words, whatever, right? And the gratitude that people are wanting to talk to me now.
Right.
Or people are coming to me because I'm of value. I'm bringing something to this world now. And with real estate, obviously, and then with sobriety, with doing this podcast, I just, most of the time, it's like, thank you, God. Like, it's just awesome to get a call from anybody.
Well, and like, what a gift, first of all, that we even get to be able to do that. And like the other side of that is like, so we did all this shit for so long, just causing, just being tornadoes in our lives and our families. And then to be like, hey man, I ain't got time for you to answer my phone. Like what a slap in the face. Like, and I always find like, no matter what, it's always the stuff, what I think I want and need is just not, it's usually not, it's not what I want. It's not what turns out to be it for me. Like it is so by far, I'm like, I'm not going to answer this call. I got stuff to do, blah, 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 blah. Like me, like you said, like just me, like this is all me. I'm not going to do this. And then I get off those phone calls or I'm driving to my job that I think is like the, worst job, or this is so whatever. And I'm just like overpowered with like just gratitude and like it's like somebody flipped the windshield wipers and it's like, oh, man, this is beautiful. That shift happens when we get outside of ourselves, when we pick up the phone, when we go and do this and go and do that. And it's always what our heart needs and wants. And the God in us and the God in other people, that's the connection. And I think that I need to talk to this person and this person and this person. And then it's just like this big old, just like continual shit ball of self, So I think that's the beauty of recovery. And we don't always, man, some days we can miss it, but it's there.
Yeah. And we miss it because we're likely in the way.
Yeah.
We need to get out of the way. The other day I had a pretty crazy day at work. I had a lot of appointments and I was feeling stressed. And a guy that I care a lot about called me because he needed to make his child support payment, social services.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, I had to do it. And we get there and they don't take card. So then it ended up having to go to Walmart to get a cashier's check, and then the cashier's check took 20 minutes. And in that moment though, in the 20 minutes when I'm sitting in my car in this Walmart parking lot, I felt so present because what am I going to, I'm going to go in there and be like, dude, I got to go. You know
what a dick move,
right? Yeah.
Right?
Hey, hurry it up.
Yeah.
I got work.
Yeah.
No, I just sat there and was just here. This is it right now.
We're in the grace, in the presence. Yeah. It's like the sky literally parts and we're like, God, this is it. This is it. This is it at Walmart, in the Walmart parking lot. Yeah.
And I
beautiful.
Got it done. And man, I just felt like that's it. That's what's important right now, is just making sure this guy's okay or taking care of whatever, and being of service and patient. Because of course he came out and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. The guy in front of me. And I was able to tell him, hey, you couldn't control.
We're all good, man.
The idiot in front of me. And I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Let them finish what they need to do. You get the check. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And it was just an awesome lesson for both of us, because what are we going to do right now?
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what it's about. And it starts with answering the phone.
Yeah.
And then and
sure.
then it's like, in the moment, I don't have time, but I have to do this right now.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. That's what it's about, like you said. Oh, and I don't know how much detail you want to go into it, but I am interested in talking about when you spoke about talking to a professional. I'm assuming a mental health
Yeah.
professional
Yeah. Yeah.
that took advantage of you,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
more mainly because as it relates to women in
Yeah.
sobriety.
I mean, that's what, like I said, that is the reason why I'm talking about it. And it's
Yeah.
also, I don't know, just even like testimony to like, I thought that I used to have to drink over like a Christmas tree, over a flat tire. Like, I used to drink over everything. And today, like, I realized like I've gone through all the big stuff and all the little stuff, or I'm currently going through it. Like, I don't have custody of my kids. Like, I don't have custody of my kids. It's slowly coming back. Like, that's in God's hands. That is over there, man. That ain't my business, to be honest. Like, it's to show up to be a mom, whatever. But this stuff is still ongoing, and I guess the biggest thing is why I do talk about it, because the more that I do talk about it, specifically with women, sometimes women that I help in this and trying to get sober or stay sober, but just in general, like, just to show, because when we are alone, like, this disease is a disease of separation. And on the flip side of that, it's also connection. And going through all that, man, I get to be sober through all that. It's painful. It is absolutely, I think back and I think if this wouldn't have been going on, maybe I could have got sober sooner, because I think back a lot of things, but I think that was the path that I needed to walk. And today it's still kind of just, hopefully this person will, there's going to be some consequences. There are currently ongoing things with it right now, and there's going to be some consequences. And to come through the other side of that, which is kind of where I'm at, is, man, it's kind of beautiful in a way, which is so crazy to even say because it was detrimental. But it's always like, there's always that paradox in life. There's always that duality, like flip side of it, man. I have been able to work with other women and help them and bring them out of the darkness and say, hey, yeah, again, back to that same, let's do this together. Let's do this together. And it's just, so when I was up in North Dakota, I ended up started to like work at this sober living treatment center. And there was a friend there, and he was a coworker also. And he'd always say some dumb shit to me, is like the way I thought about it. Like, I would go in there and kind of like this whole process started up there with like possibly prosecuting this person for some of the things. And so I'm just like going through all this stuff and going through it and protection orders and just like crazy, crazy stuff. And I would go into his office and it would just piss me off at the time. And now I look back and I think I'm so grateful for those experiences. But he would be like, Brittany, God sends the strongest horses into the greatest battles. And I'm like, you want to say that to me one more time? If I come in this office again and I like, clearly, can't you tell these are serious problems and I'm just dying, and you're going to tell me I'm the strongest horse that God's sending into the biggest battle, and iron sharpens iron and steel sharpens steel, whatever, man. And he also did have some like more like gentle, like, I don't know. We don't know why these things happen to us. We don't know why this is our path sometimes, but sometimes it is. And I still today don't know why this has been the path that I've walked, besides the fact that, like I said, like, I can kind of see it coming full circle today with the women that I get to walk next to. Absolutely. There is some freaking beauty in all of it. And that's pretty powerful. And that's, yeah, pretty beautiful for sure.
It is, yeah. This healthcare professional, mental health care, he was the one saying, you're the strongest horse.
No, so I was definitely not him.
Okay.
No, so this person that was saying that, his name's Chet. He's a friend of mine and a sober person. And so I would be going through all this stuff with this previous provider and like just like all this stuff, and I would go in there and
I see, yeah,
to my circle of people, man, and he would give me those one-liners and I was like, I don't want to hear about that horse today.
No,
but
absolutely. Yeah, those anecdotes.
Yeah, sometimes they're just
sometimes they work, but
yeah,
when you're in it and you're
but now it's like, okay.
Now you get it. Of course. But at the time, no, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
In that moment, yeah. But what I'm kind of curious about, obviously, I'm a man
Yeah.
in sobriety, but I interviewed or spoke with Vic in
Yeah.
episode
Yeah.
3, 4. And I think like what's tough for me to comprehend or understand is that you're, as a woman that's an alcoholic,
Yeah.
you're so vulnerable.
Yeah.
And other alcoholics can play into your disease.
Oh, absolutely.
Like alcoholics in general are the most manipulative, selfish
Oh,
people
yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
but then to like manipulate the emotions and kind
Yeah.
of play into your,
Right.
and so what
Absolutely.
I was wondering or curious about is like, as it relates to this healthcare professional, God, I can't imagine this is somebody you're going to for help.
Right.
And they were
Right.
using your vulnerability or your cry for
Right.
help as a means of
Yeah.
hurting you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something I can't even wrap my head around. And I even see it in sobriety.
Yeah. I mean, that's again, I see it often, and I can, again, back to that gift. I spot it like like a million. I spot it. I'm like that, but maybe that's the thing. I don't know what the thing is that God wants me to be doing, but maybe that's the thing is to go. I can't protect people. I can't save them. I can't change their path for them, but we can be safe for each other. We can absolutely. And I don't think it's just women. Yes, we have an experience being women alcoholics, and the experience a lot of times is like that. We're to be a mom and a wife and like all these things, and it's the same for men, just in a different aspect. We both of us, men and women, we all have like these like societal standards that are like a man is like to be this and you're not to be like all these things. And just as the woman get back in the closet in the dark, we don't speak about this. God forbid your wife is like out there acting up or laying like doing all that. Like that is so shameful. And I think it just kills us, and it kills men equally in the aspect that like you are a man. I guess I'm just like, I don't know how it is for you guys, but like I would guess that it's like you're a man, you don't fail, you don't lose, you don't have a weak spot, but we all have that, and we need to be those people, seriously, those people that are like, hey, it's all right. Let's come over here and let's clean this shit up and get on with our lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
outside of gender norms.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there is obviously, hey, you need to be a man. You need to man up.
Right. Right.
When I'm in my pity party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Suck it up, Seth.
I mean, it makes us,
Chop wood and carry water.
yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
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 But also, yeah, and that's it. And I think that's one just thing that if I could say to the normies out there, the people who are dealing with an alcoholic or addict, because the thing I hear often is they're going to lose their job, Seth. They're going to lose their apartment.
Right.
They work so hard, they're going to get kicked out of college.
Right.
And I'm like, let him.
Yeah.
Like,
Let them.
and they're like, I'm telling him if he doesn't get it together, he's going to lose this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't get why he doesn't realize that. And it's because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
None
matter.
of that stuff matters.
No.
Like literally you were dying, and in your mind you're like, can we speed this up a little bit?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
death doesn't even fear,
Yeah.
I was not afraid to
I
die.
welcomed it. I
Yes,
like
please.
absolutely welcomed death for so long.
Right.
And
So-
it's like it would be like a relief. And that's the thing is it doesn't make sense. It sure doesn't make sense to my mom. That would probably terrify her. Like, why would you think that you would welcome death? But like we do. And I'll say today though, obviously I'm on the total other side of that. I live today, and I think part of why I live today the way I do and why I have a lot of freedom in my life, both internally, externally. I have a lot of peace because when we are in that spot, when we are welcoming death on a daily basis, staring at a dog cable, ready to kill ourselves, like to be driving down the road, going to that crap job that we think is the crap job or whatever, and to be grateful in that moment, like hell yes.
For
Seriously,
real.
that I am, because why wouldn't I be, man? I don't give a shit who took your card at Safeway or whatever. I don't live in those like small little, I can't care about that stuff today. I cannot care about the insignificant details of life, because truly I've been given my whole life back, and Like I said, I don't have a lot of things. Material, it's gone. Finances are gone. Jobs, whatever. Kids are gone. All of it's gone. Relationships are getting better, but they're still pretty messed up, you know? But I live pretty darn free today in spite of all that, which is, again, freaking beautiful.
No, that's true freedom.
Yeah.
When, like you said, you don't have custody of your kids.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with you as a mom.
Yeah. No.
It's just a title, and whatever that looks like, you'll be the best you can be.
Absolutely.
And appreciate it. And you have no agenda.
Yeah. There's nothing.
There's no timeline. Like you said today, you had a great day with your kids.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And you're not going to go to bed and thinking like, okay, now because I did today, then I'm going to have them write a letter to the judge.
And this and this.
Yeah.
No, man.
No,
I've given up all that.
Yeah.
Just as like when I walked in those doors at that treatment center and we surrendered to this disease. I remain in that surrender for everything in my life. My kids, my finances, all of it is a surrender. Because the second I get in there, I am going to be writing a letter to that judge or whatever, just doing some wild stuff, trying to control it. And just, again, and that's when we create more damage. Like, it is not my business. My business is to show up to help God's kids. It's so simple, like clearly that simple. And to be a safe mom, because there was times where I was not an emotionally safe mom. I could say that I was emotionally neglectful, emotionally abusive. That's rough to say as mom. That took me a long time to say that, like that, but that's the way it was. And today my kids have tremendous safety with me and peace, which is just, I couldn't even ask for anything else. It's just, really amazing.
And you can say that honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before I'd say it, and in my heart.
Yeah.
Like, they're not safe.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not safe. I'm not safe with myself.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I'm safe. I'm.
Yeah.
It's a radical experience. Radical shift. Even when we talk about not being afraid to die. When you're in that space, kill me. Just please, whatever. I'm not afraid to die today, but in a different sense. Like,
because I'm good. Because I am like,
and if something happens, I was like, this is where this is it. Then I guess, and it's just a strange flying in airplanes. I used to be I had to drink on an airplane. Turbulence, terrified. The idea of being out of control. Like, if this thing goes down, there's nothing I can do. And last year, I went on a plane a few times, and I literally, like, there'd be turbulence. And in my head, I'm like, if this thing goes down, that's it.
I mean, it's like that, but like being, like you said, being out of control. When we loosen the grip, we let go, and we can breathe. And then it doesn't, there's not this battle of, I got to control this. The fear, all of it, it's just removed. It's lifted because we let go. And what a beautiful place to walk in. Like, most days, and I'm not saying most days I'm like this. Some days, I'm just, I can be out there. But most days I try to remain and live in that.
Right. Yeah. And
that letting go.
I think that's it. Like, we talk about our change.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's like once a week, I'm not doing everything I'm talking about. So I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, wow, look at Seth. No, once a week, and it's because I slept to the last minute. I didn't do what I need to.
And then you're flying out the house, and it's like this. Everybody sucks. Why is this like? I'm literally at every single red light. I go to work, and I'm like, like, just offended to be there. Like, in the
true.
It can shift just like quickly, that. Yeah, absolutely.
And you're pissed at every red light.
Yeah,
you're late because you
and now
slept in.
Yep. Yeah. You slept in, you didn't like
everybody's a terrible driver.
Yep, everybody's terrible. Yeah, everybody can't drive.
Taking way too long to turn, lady.
Yep.
And really, it's like,
and then we just come in hot, and then it's just like we come in hot, just blow it in there, and
coming in hot,
man.
And
that's not a fun place to be. I do recognize that a lot today, because if we live there long enough, man, it's just walking right back out, right back to a drink. That will bring me to a drink quicker. Like, you know, you could have all these huge events in your life. Like I was saying, I've stayed sober through going to the pet store, going to Walmart or Target or whatever, through this whole court process. Like, I've stayed sober through all these things, like all the big stuff. But at the same time, it's the little things too that, man, they can add up. And if we're continually hating our job or hating the people we work with, or The red lights suck, man. That just leads me back because I don't do well when I'm uncomfortable within myself. Like, I don't do well at all. So I stay on this side of things,
And
definitely.
you're aware that
Yeah.
that's what it'll take.
Yeah.
A day full
Yeah,
of...
it's not the big things. It's not the somebody getting sick or dying. It is literally like the last straw is like the elevator was too slow today.
That's it.
Like, that's it. That I'm walking to the bar. That is insane. The
And then you're
insanity
like,
of this
"F it.
disease. Yeah.
That's it. I'm done." And
Yeah.
it would be something
Yeah.
stupid. And then you try to explain that. It's like,
Yeah,
"What happened,
explain that to my
Brittany?
mom.
What
Like,
made you-"
oh, the elevator. Like,
Right.
what?
Yeah. What
Like,
do you mean
that's
the elevator?
wild.
It took too long.
Yeah.
And that made you throw
Yeah.
away a year of... Right.
Yeah.
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 But it's not... Yeah, it is just a slow progression
Yeah.
from just oversleeping, being
Yeah.
late, and then lying
From
about why
oversleeping.
you're
Yeah.
late.
And then we have
sorry,
that in
there was
there.
a car accident. No,
Right.
Early, I just overslept.
Yeah.
Because I stayed up till 4 a.m. watching TikTok.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
that. Why can't I just say that instead of having to make up some story and then get caught in a lie?
Right.
Then you're...
It is so much easier to live on the side of like freedom and truth. Like, I don't know. Even when I was sober before, I thought like, I just didn't value the truth. And today the truth, it's not always pretty, but like, it's out there, man. I do CrossFit too. So I do that in the morning, and then I was going to go, then they check in because I haven't been there for a while. So I'm telling her, I'm just going to lie to him. I'm going to say this and this and this.
Yeah.
And she's like, Brittany, you ain't going to start lying again. And so what do I have to do? I have to go in there and be like, hey man, I'm just like, because my ego wants it easier, nice, wants somebody to feel bad for Brittany. But today I know that living in the truth, there's so much freedom in the truth. There's so much freedom in the truth. Yeah. And it's a big deal. And the little lies, the big lies, whatever, man.
A lie's a lie.
Yeah, lie is
and that's
lie.
one thing. Oh, it's a victimless lie.
Yeah, no.
Because at the end of the day,
We are the victim. We
right,
will end up being the one.
And that's why I felt
Yeah.
like such a fraud. Anytime somebody
Yeah.
gave me a compliment, oh no, if you only
Yeah.
knew, because I knew.
Yeah.
But when I said, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah.
And I had 3 shooters in my sock.
Right.
That's embarrassing. But
Yeah.
they don't know. And
Right.
I'm maintaining this fake
Yeah.
facade, and if people are gonna find
It's
out.
too much, man.
It's so
Too much.
It's
That is
crazy. It's such a terrible
tiring.
way to live. And
Like, I ain't.
the other thing I thought kind of made me laugh a little bit is when you went to rehab and they were like, well, if you're too bad, you're gonna have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about the worst place to be as an alcoholic
Yeah.
is a freaking hospital. I remember being at the hospital as a result of drinking.
Yeah.
And trying to lie
Yeah.
about why I was in there.
Yeah.
And they kept bringing in different people that were
Yeah.
trying to get the truth.
Oh,
They
yeah.
could tell I was lying.
Yeah.
And finally they brought in this lady who was like the mother goose of nurses.
Yeah.
And
Bring
I
in Mother
literally
Goose.
said, I'm an alcoholic. And this was 12 years ago,
Yeah.
10 years ago. But I finally was just honest. I'm
Yeah.
an alcoholic. I've just been drinking all week. And, but hospitals, you feel judged.
Mm-hmm.
for one.
Absolutely.
And then you feel exposed because they can tell.
Oh,
hey,
they can.
Your levels are.
Yeah. One look, literally, that's
Yeah.
all classic.
How many drinks do you have a week?
Yeah. None. Yeah.
Oh, maybe 2 or 3 a day, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
So then you're lying, and then they know you're lying, and then no control.
Right.
You're in there. And,
Yeah.
Man, and you're just feeling they're
Yeah.
they don't have healthcare professionals, and it's not their job, right?
Right.
Their job's to get you better, and actually it makes you better when they don't coddle you and
Right.
feed into your BS and straight up tell you
Yeah. Because we're so.
right. And so I hate hospital.
Yeah.
No control. And
Yeah.
it's like, and these people can see right through me, and they're down to business, brass tacks. I don't have
Yeah.
time for your BS. I can tell by your liver enzymes that
Yeah.
you have more than 2 a month, Seth, and brutal. But yeah, it is funny how they're like, okay, Brittany, if you drink too much, you're gonna have to go to the hospital. And you're like, nope.
Nope. I know. Like, that was it. I mean, if I could have maintained that, but
If
no,
there's
like,
anything-
it was it was painful. That's the thing about it too. That was painful for me too. Cause I like I said, I like coming in hot. Like, I like getting off a plane, blowing a .3. Like, yeah, show me where my slippers are. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
But like, I don't,
Pre-game rehab.
yeah, a hospital it's not a fun experience. And also, again, like, to that aspect of like like our family, like what that does to people. The selfishness of this disease is monumental sometimes. It is.
It's
It is.
appalling.
Yeah.
I knew I was kind of selfish.
Yeah.
But you get some sobriety under your belt and you look back
Yeah.
and you're like, good God,
Yeah.
Seth.
And I really thought that day too. I was trying to stay sober that morning and it was like 6 o'clock. Then I went and saw some people, sober people. And then like 8 o'clock, by 8:30, there was people at my house and they were like, your choice is detox, hospital.
And you said liquor store.
Yeah, and I said the liquor store and I was already just drunk and they wouldn't go. But yeah, that's what we do for sure.
Yeah. The world revolves around us. And I think that's why we struggle with God.
Yeah.
Because for so long we were God.
Yep.
And a terrible one at that.
Absolutely.
And then we come in and be like, how can I worship a God that gives children cancer?
Right. Like we
know better.
We're so contradictory. I hear people talk about it a lot. They're just like, I'm not God like this and that and all these we all have childhood ideas. We all do, okay? But like maybe you could just shut up and set them aside for a minute. I mean, truly, like, so like I'm the type of alcoholic that you tell me, let's get in the car, let's go. And I will jump in drunk. Hell yeah, let's go. I have no thought whatsoever. But then you get me sober over here and you're like, hey, just try this real quick. Just maybe get on your knees and pray. Or what if you just give up? What if you stop fighting? And I'm like, excuse me, but I have all of these, of these preconceived like ideas. And it's like, really? Do you though? And I don't know, the God thing, I know for me, like when I got sober, there was nothing left. There was absolutely nothing left. And in my previous sobriety, I like was so intellectual about it and thought about this and that, whatever, man. I don't know what it is. I know it works. I know the universe or whatever, man. There is a spirit that God, it lives in us. Our spirits are connected. Like they literally are. Like you can feel it when people are on that dimension, that realm, that God spirit, God world, whatever, man, it is there. And this time when I got sober, I was just done. Like I was done and I was done arguing. I was done fighting. Some days I still want to fight and argue, but I've like built these disciplines and habits long enough that I know that I lean back on them, even when I'm being an asshole and when I got my opinions that I'm judgmental. I built the disciplines of my sobriety for long enough that I still accidentally kind of like, despite myself, I fall back on these disciplines of like, okay, shut your mouth, do this, whatever, Brittany, even if I'm feeling that day a little off or like judgmental or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah. And you do it long enough where it triggers something in your brain.
Yeah.
You're like, this isn't good.
Yeah. It's like, hey man, check yourself.
Yeah. Like when you're bowling with the gutter guards.
Right.
Like
right.
there's just these mental gutter guards
analogy.
where like, because the other day I was with friends and they were talking about going to a concert for this musician. And I don't know why, but I was just like, I can't stand that guy. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
Right. And then right away, I was like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Who are you? And why
bumper guard, get yourself back in the lane, man.
I felt it. And I immediately was like, I don't know why I just said that.
Right.
Like, I'm excited. You're excited about this concert.
Right.
Why do I have to insert, that guy's a misogynist or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was old Seth. And I just slipped back into that mindset.
Right.
And you do get like a little tinge of
it's like,
feels good to tell them.
Yeah, it does.
You like bad music.
Oh man. Yeah.
And like, who are you, dude? Shut up.
We're
Seth.
So wild. We can just, yeah.
Like we know better.
Yeah. Like we know better.
Yeah. I have an opinion about everything. Prejudice, right?
Yeah. And, my opinions suck. They get us, man. I don't.
Yeah.
And also, I think we're sober for a long enough period. Like it's so inconsistent. It goes against like our, whatever it is, like I said, our spirit, souls, whatever, are so programmed to be with connection and to be with others and to be with a spirit and to be like God and me, God and you, like to have that connection. And when we're over here being a complete dick, judging this guy for being like, it's like lights up. It takes work to get there. It takes looking at yourself and correcting yourself and surrender and all these things to get from that point to even be able to have this awareness that like, hey man, I'm being a dick over here. Like that's to be able to acknowledge and be aware of that inconsistency between the light and the dark, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
And connection.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly aware of when I'm building a wall.
Right.
Because the thing with alcoholism and addiction is it not only affects the addict and the alcoholic, but like family members, because what everybody does is they isolate.
Yeah.
And they keep these secrets.
Right.
And even our family members lie for us.
Oh yeah. I know my mom.
Yeah.
Be lying for me.
And this like idea like I can't say anything, or even if they hate us, right? Or they're so pissed at us, they're still out there like, hey, how's Brittany doing, right? And your mom's gonna be like, oh, she's doing pretty good right now. She's doing this job, and in reality, you're puking blood.
Yeah, exactly. Like how that's insane to like we put them in that position, and then it becomes normal. Like our life is so normal with this alcoholic, crazy, chaotic, and it's totally normal for my mom to be like, oh, she's really doing well with her whoever she's talking to, and the reality is coming out a week before I go to treatment, cleaning her and my aunt, scrubbing my floors because there's blood and vomit and I'm busy packing. I'm packing, like whatever. I don't even know what I was doing. God only knows. I don't know. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
But that's it. And I think that's important for people to know is wherever you're at, be honest. It's not your job to protect them.
Right.
Because what you're doing is you're creating a wall between connecting with someone else potentially. And this thing wants everybody to stay in their homes and lock their doors.
Right. You were so right about that. Like the family. Yeah. Let them go, man. Yeah. Let them go. Step back. That's painful. I don't know how it would be if we sat down with our family members and asked them, how would it be if you just had to like close your eyes and say, man, let go. Seth is in your hands. That's got to be a huge leap for them too. But it is the best thing that they can do, because when we enable, or when our family just continues on that, man, it could be blocking the opportunity. Somebody would have been kept or whatever, had me stay put or whatever. Maybe I wouldn't have been. All A, B, and C of my path would have never lined up. And who knows? Like it is. That is so true.
And when you talk about it being tough, right?
Yeah.
Letting them go.
Yeah.
Don't bring them food. Don't drive them to rehab.
Yeah.
If they want to get to like you said, you're going to have to work for this.
Yeah.
Nobody's driving you to rehab, Brittany. How are you going to get there?
Yeah.
Or kill yourself.
Right.
Like
that was the choice. And
right. And so, let them find their way, get out of the way, because in a way that you are becoming a God, you're their God.
Yeah.
I know that if I was hungry, my mom would bring me food.
Absolutely.
And in a way that kind of feeds into my manageability. I still got things under control.
Absolutely. It
I'm
feeds
not
into
starving.
it.
I still got.
Yeah.
And when you talk about hard.
Yeah.
When you think about never drinking again in early sobriety, that's hard.
Yeah.
So it's like you're asking us to do something hard. Show us you can do something hard. And that is go.
Right.
I'm not helping you anymore.
Right.
I don't care if you lose your apartment, if you're homeless, I'm not bringing you in.
It's so necessary. No. It just truly is, I think. Oh, and my family, for the most part, my mom, I know, I just can't imagine how it'd be to be in either her shoes, my dad's.
Yeah, no way.
Or my sister's,
and I'm not coming from a spiritual high place when I say that. I can understand how I have kids. You have kids. Oh God, I don't know. I'm probably saying this now, and if one of my kids, I'd probably be the most codependent, enabling dad in the world, and that's the reality. I know.
Yeah.
I just know that when you're in that spot, I'm not throwing stones by any means, but I'm just saying as it relates to difficulty, both sides, it's a tough thing, but if you can do your thing, and whether they get better or not, you're going to get better.
Right.
That's the truth. So it's a win-win. It's tough, but it's a win for you because you're going to be able to drop. Man,
and let the people that know what they're doing, and the professionals or the other people that are just out there living their lives in recovery, let them be the expert with your loved one or your alcoholic or addict or whatever, man. Let them be the expert, and just because anybody, my family could tell me, they could tell me 1,000 things. Like my aunt, that day I went to the hospital. So my aunt was there and I love her. And she has been through it with me and supported me through some of the most difficult things in my life. So my aunt was there and then another sober alcoholic was there. And she could have, I mean, I know she loves me with like the depth of her soul.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have listened to a word she had to say. That other alcoholic was like, let us take your loved one and do, or the professionals or whoever, man, because that's how this thing works.
That's it. The guy that saved my life, the guy that got me sober, has no doctorate or education outside of his experiences.
Right.
And the way he spoke to me touched my soul, like you said, the God in me, right? And connected with the God in him. But man, good stuff, Brittany. I'm super impressed by you. I'm super excited you agreed to be on this thing, because it doesn't matter if you have a year of sobriety or 30 years. Like, one thing about you is when you speak, you're honest. And you're passionate. And I knew that I don't care how long of sobriety you have, you bring the heat.
Thank you.